Well, of course, we have an amazing weekend of football action, other sports as well, the NFL, we've got Formula 1, but we've also got downtime. And the downtime might mean for you and me, movie time. It certainly means that for our mate Van Connor, one of the country's leading film critics. And I get together with our Van, he gives us 3 Freeview film recommendations for the weekend. Freeview, don't forget, and I match this with 3 of my own. And we've got half a dozen rather fine offerings, I think, for you this morning. Good morning, Van. How's your week been? Makes you seen any big movies?
Do you know, it's been quite a quiet week for films overall, but I did see what was one of the worst movies I've seen this year. Is a new Ben Stiller movie called Nutcrackers. God, that was terrible. Okay, well, I'll keep that one on the back burner then, until you're allowed to actually give us the full and frank review of that one. And what's your first recommendation? Where are you taking us? So I am taking you to the high seas in 2013. So tonight at midnight on BBC One is Captain Phillips, Paul Greengrass's true story thriller from 2013. Starred Tom Hanks. This one got a lot of Oscar love, and it was about the captain of the Maersk freighter whose ship is overtaken by Somali pirates. And of course, it being a Paul Greengrass movie, it's very down and dirty and gritty. You must have seen this one at the time, I'd imagine. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I've known Paul for years and years, since the 80s, in fact, when he was a researcher and producer on World in Action, which people might remember, and he co-wrote a book called Spycatcher, The Revelations, which was mentioned in Parliament. So he's very much based in the world of journalism, investigative reporting and reality. And even in the Bourne film that he made, that shines through in that. I think there's a real, grit is the word, I think, for his films. Absolutely. It seems insane in hindsight, given the films that he's sort of known for now, that he ever actually made the Bourne movies. It seems so weird now in context. But great movie. I've got a clip for you. This is Tom Hanks negotiating with eventual Oscar winner Barkhad Abdi as the leader of these hostage takers. Here we go.
UK MTO.
Operations?
Receiving.
This is Maersk, Alabama.
Our position is 2 degrees 2 north by 49 degrees 19 east. Our course is 180, our speed is 17 knots.
We have 2 skiffs approaching at a distance of 1.5 miles with a possible mothership following.
Potential piracy situation.
Copy, Alabama. You should alert your crew, get your fire hoses ready, and follow lockdown procedures.
Is that it?
I'm relaying your transmission now, but chances are it's just fishermen.
They're not here to fish.
Oh dear. Now that's based on a true story, as is my first recommendation. BBC One tonight, 11:05, directed by Ron Howard. To my mind, it's up there with his best films. It's called Rush, released 11 years ago now, 2013, and it's a lightly fictionalised version of the rivalry between Niki Lauda and James Hunt. Of course, 2 amazing Formula 1 racers. In real life, they'd actually roomed together at the start of their careers and were friends. Now, they don't really go into that. And there are other slight twists in the story of their relationship, and certainly of James Hunt's kind of downward spiral, which he then corrected and addressed. He stepped away from alcohol addiction and other addictions with the help from Niki Lauda. But this is a great, exciting film. It's also an intensely, I think, moving film in an almost old-fashioned way. Ron Howard, I think, is a great old-school type director in the way that some Clint Eastwood films really aren't afraid to actually manipulate you in a good way. They can play with your emotions, but they don't play with it superficially. You're kind of invested in the characters. Some great performances. This Daniel Bruhl, who's always an interesting actor, plays Niki Lauda. Chris Hemsworth plays James Hunt with a slightly dodgy wig at some stages, I thought. It's a bit like he's auditioning to be in a sweet tribute band from the glam rock days. So it's a great movie, 11:05 tonight, BBC One. And I do think some of the racing sequence, it's genuinely exciting. Do you ever see this on the big screen, this film, Van? I did. I was a big fan of this. I think I went to a Q&A that James Mangold had for this as well. I think the key to this film for me is the casting. Yeah. As you point out, Daniel Bruhl is just terrific as Niki Lauda, and Chris Hemsworth is just a lot of fun as James Hunt, and also sort of just the kind of the perfect fictionalised Hunt, really. Party, man. He was back in the day, of course. No, so it's Rush, 11:05 tonight, BBC One, and here's a chunk of the trailer. This is an action cracker, folks. So make sure, if you don't watch it, make sure you've at least recorded it or downloaded it. Here we go.
This is an incredible battle between these 2 great drivers.
Next time I'll have you.
No chance. You're just a party guy. It's where everybody likes you.
Yes, I know, I'm terrible.
No, you're not terrible. You're just who you are at this point in your life.
To be a champion, it takes more than just being quick. You have to really believe it.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
I can beat this guy, trust me.
He's consistent, dependable.
Will he put his life on the line the day that really matters? Welcome to the racing grudge match of the decade.
World champion Nicky Lauda, trapped in a searing inferno of 800 plus degrees.
Talk to me, James.
Don't go to men who are willing to kill themselves driving in circles looking for normality.
What did your wife say when she saw your face?
She said, you don't need the face to drive, you just need the right foot.
Wow, that's a great bit of dialogue. So where are you taking us for your second film recommendation, please, Van?
I am taking you all around the multiverse, good sir, with the big Oscar baby in early 2023. This was, of course, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was directed by the Daniels, as they were called. I think it was Daniel Scheinert and Daniel Kwan were their names. They go by the Daniels. It's on Channel 4 Saturday night at 10:15. Did you see this when this came out? This was, to say, the big Michelle Yeoh-led multiverse actioner.
It's very rare that I go and see a film twice in quite quick succession. I did it recently to Megalopolis because I couldn't quite work out what it was about. I was even more confused the second time around. I did with this one because I so enjoyed it the first time around, and I was so pleased I went back again because there's so much in this film. I particularly cherish the multiverse where you have frankfurters for fingers. I'd love to live there.
Yeah, exactly. There's a universe where they become rocks. The idea is that it's about a multiversal war, and we discover this through a seemingly ordinary, downtrodden, middle-aged Asian American, wife who co-runs a laundrette with her sort of separating partner, and then discovers that in actuality she's not that ordinary. She's the most important person in all of existence, and only she can stop this threat to all of existence.
And can I say, Jamie Lee Curtis is absolutely brilliant in this film, is she not?
She is an Oscar winner as well, I believe. Best Supporting Actress for that one. This won tons of awards. Literally, it was last year, wasn't it? And Michelle Yeoh is back on our screens, I think, in a few weeks in Section 31, the Star Trek spin-off of Paramount Plus. But say, this was the banger. This was the big multiverse hopper. It kicked the crap out of everything Marvel was putting into the multiverse, almost embarrassingly so at the same time, almost by accident. So good fun. Saturday night, Channel 4, 10:15. I've got a clip for you, and this is Michelle Yeoh learning of her importance to the universe.
Great film, folks. You've got to see it.
What's happening?
Evelyn, I'm not your husband. I'm another version of him from another universe. I'm here because we need your help.
Very busy today. No time to help you.
Across the multiverse, I've seen thousands of Evelyns. You can access all their memories, their emotions, even their skills. There's a great evil spreading throughout the many verses. And you may be our only chance of stopping it.
Don't make me fight you. I am really good.
I don't believe you.
It's a great film, that is. Now, I'm not crazy about the notion of cult films. The film's either good or it's not. But certainly if there was ever going to be a kind of top 10 of cult films, in the top 3 for me would be Fight Club. It's always one of my top 10 movies, and it's on in the wee small hours of, like, Saturday morning, but it's my Saturday recommendation. So 1:10 in the morning, very early Saturday morning, on Film 4, we have the majestic, incomparable, funny, moving, wild Fight Club from 2009, directed by David Fincher, of course, Fincher. Meatloaf turns up in this, Helena Bonham Carter's in it, but you've mainly got Ed Norton and Brad Pitt and Tyler Durden, and we don't talk about Fight Club, if you remember Fight Club. And, I mean, it's an astonishingly male film, this, but it's much more than that, I think, Van.
It's one of the great satires. I think it was sort of taken on board rather wrongheadedly by a large percentage of its eventual audience, but it's a fantastic satire that just absolutely implodes the male psyche in so many ways. And it's also just a fantastic looking, very stylized, very cool David Fincher movie at the same time. And also Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt, one of the great performances.
And if you've not read, if you're much of a reader, I think he's pronounced Palahniuk. It's a weird spelling, but
Palahniuk.
Yeah, it's his first novel, his debut novel, and that's a belter as well. So it's 1:10 in the morning, in the wee small hours. Film 4, it's Fight Club. Here's a chunk of the trailer. If you've never seen this, boy, are you in for a treat.
This is how I met Tyler Durden.
Come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
Ow! You hit me in the ear! It was on the tip of everyone's tongue.
Can I be next?
We just gave it a name.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is...
Wow, nice.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
Is that your blood? Some of it, yeah. After Fight Club, we all started seeing things differently.
You're gonna have to keep me up all night.
And she ruined everything.
You're not into her, are you?
No, God, not at all.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't.
He had a plan. To what purpose? In Tyler we trusted.
We gotta take Fight Club up a notch. Each one of you has a homework assignment. You're gonna start a fight with a total stranger.
That's not necessary.
And you're gonna lose.
That hurt.
That's the easy part, starting to fight with a total stranger and lose things. I've had that problem all my life. And my final recommendation is a bit of a guilty pleasure, because I do, I just love the work of Sam Fuller. He was a copy boy for newspapers in the States at the age of 12. His whole background was what they called yellow journalism, which was the kind of tabloidy stories of their day, specialised in crime reporting. He then joined up the US military, was a member of the Big Red One, the 1st Infantry. Later made a film about it with Lee Marvin and Mark Hamill. Not one of the best war films, but sort of a fascinating film. And he was somebody who kind of, I think they used to say, he rips his stories from the front pages of America's newspapers. He certainly does that. His film Shot Corridor is an amazing black and white film set in a lunatic asylum, but a fascinating satire on sexism, and brilliant film that is. He made some amazing films like The Crimson Kimono, White Dog, his last film, deeply controversial film about racism in America. One of his best films, though, is on Talking Pictures TV, 1:50 a.m., so it's late Sunday into the wee small hours of Monday morning, 10 to 2 Monday morning. Set the record for it, though. Cliff Robertson, who won an Oscar for a film called Charlie, a sort of half science fiction film, is in it. I think he's a criminally overlooked and underrated actor, Cliff Robertson. He was a member of the Actors Studio. He got his Oscar. He introduced William Goldman, I think, to the world of screenwriting, and then got rid of that script. He didn't particularly like it for Charlie. Underworld USA, though, is the title of this film, and it features a man or boy, in fact, who sees his dad beaten to death by hoodlums when he's only 13 or 14. He devotes his life to, he follows his father's criminal path to an extent, but says, the four men who beat my dad to death in front of me and my mother are going to pay. And so he gets involved with a criminal organisation. This is, remember, an era when J. Edgar Hoover was denying there was organised crime in America still. This film puts the light to that. It is brutal. It's of its time, so some of the things that they talk about, they do kind of euphemistically. So he gets involved with a prostitute, but they don't really call her that. They call her a hostess or something. But black and white photography, there's a preview bit of it that was excised and they're still looking for, which has never been seen, involving a union of prostitutes. So I'd love to see this. Great film, though. Doesn't outstay its welcome. It's about 90 minutes long. Underworld USA from 1961. Sam Fuller went on to be, I think, idolised by the likes of Wim Wenders, didn't he, and Jean-Luc Godard. So he's one of those really influential European cinema, because he's such a character.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he left a very lasting stamp on another generation of directors after him.
And he's given a line, I think, in the Wim Wenders film where he plays a cameraman. He says, life's in colour, but black and white's more realistic, which is a fantastic thought. This film's in black and white, 10 to 2 in the wee small hours of Monday morning, but it's my Sunday recommendation. It's Underworld USA, ripped from the pages of tomorrow's headlines.
Everyone knows what this is, but few of us know what throbs underneath. And I know. I wrote the story of Underworld USA. My name is Sam Fuller, and in order to back up my story, I had to get facts. Well, I dug deep, and I got the facts. Facts that uncovered a world of vice and crime. And that's why Underworld USA has to be seen, because this world, with all its quiet brutality, is a threat. It's a threat to everyone, everywhere.
I told you once we had a national setup, we could form a government of our own inside the USA. And we did. But we won't stay big if we lose our grip.
The guns of gangland speak and tell the story of today's march of crime. Excitement that rips through the curtain of organized vice. The labor rackets, gambling, drug traffic, and the big bosses who govern this empire of evil.
It's all about vengeance and revenge, and it's a great film in its way. And what's your final recommendation for us, Van?
So my final recommendation, you were talking about black and white with Underworld USA, and you sent me an article actually about this movie being re-released in black and white. So Guillermo del Toro's pretty unappreciated and unseen 2021 offering, remake of Nightmare Alley. Was it 1931 with Tyrone Power, the original?
I think maybe slightly later, that maybe 41. It was a little bit later, I think, because it was quite a kind of... That was a very dark, controversial film as well. And this one I think this one's more of the original novel, I think. I've not read the novel, but this one's more about kind of fake clairvoyance, I think, isn't it?
It is. It's a written, directed by Guillermo del Toro adaptation of the novel that's, in this case, stars Bradley Cooper as a grifter who wanders into a travelling circus and sort of trains to become a sort of we've got a mentalist / con artist, and finds himself going up against this psychologist in this sort of battle of wits. And it is really dark and twisted and creepy and weird and wonderful in all of those great Guillermo del Toro ways, like The Shape of Water and Crimson Peak. It's very much in his gothic horror roots, and it's tons of fun. Weirdly, Bradley Cooper and Cate Blanchett, they walk away with this on this really great old school romantic gothic horror kind of chemistry.
It's a great film. When can we see this one, Van? You've got a clip for us as well, I think, haven't you?
I have. So this is Channel 4 on Sunday night at 10 o'clock. It is Cate Blanchett, the psychologist, versus Bradley Cooper, the con man.
Here we go.
I'll tell you what, you got a safe?
I do.
Why don't you keep this for me? I don't want Molly to know about it anyway. Why don't you keep it for a few days? And if you change your mind, we'll split it 50-50. And if not, I'll keep it.
You barely know me.
Oh, I know you well.
Oh, that's a great bit of dialogue, is it not? So, is Off-Screen coming out later on today, or there's insufficient movies to warrant a release?
Sadly, insufficient movies this week. But you know what? Next week's jam-packed. So I don't know why they do this, why they can't spread these things out evenly. But no, so we get a bit of downtime this week. Much needed downtime pre-Crimbo.
And is it the new version of Nosferatu next week then?
No, that's not until I think it's either Boxing Day or New Year's Day.
They're teasing us with that one, aren't they, with William Dafoe?
They're ramping up. I hear it's great.
Fantastic stuff. It's always great to have Van Connor on the programme. Of course, our Friday regular, our Van Friday with his Freeview film recommendations. With me, Paul Ross. We're live till 5 on talkSPORT and on Talk You lucky people.